What's up, y'all? It's your girl Chanel from Complex Simplicity. How are you doing? I hope that you had an amazing and dope Thanksgiving holiday. I know I did. I hope you were able to enjoy some bomb food. I know I was able to get my eat on. Family time, full on holiday season, loving it. Great. So yes, I was able to spend time with my family, my parents, my brother, my sister-in-law, my niece and two nephews on Sunday, my husband, of course. We all kind of did a pre-Thanksgiving dinner because we knew we'd all be doing our own thing on Thanksgiving Day. And then for Thanksgiving Day, my husband and I went to spend time with my family, my extended family in Newburgh, New York. Of course, we all came from all over to kind of like connect, bug out, have a great time, right? And so holiday season is everything for me. I love it. Christmas is my absolute favorite holiday of them all. I'm looking forward to watching the corny, cheesy family holiday flicks movies. I'm looking forward to decorating my home, putting up the tree, having our annual, meaning my husband and my annual Christmas holiday party with our friends, cousins, family, things of that nature. I'm just all for it. It's just a jolly, warm, loving time you feel, or at least I feel during the holiday season. I know for some, the holidays could be a difficult time. Hopefully there's someone that you can kind of just spend time with and enjoy. I know for me, Christmas holiday is everything. Thanksgiving was great. I hope that you too had a very warm, loving, nurturing, fun Thanksgiving holiday. I for sure did. And now we're back, right? And so this vlog is going to be about a few things, right? Catching up. It's been a few days since we've last spoken. So my question is, because we all know yesterday, the major event, aside from eating and spending time with our loved ones, was checking out Spike Lee's She's Gotta Have It Netflix series, right? So my husband and I returned from spending Thanksgiving with family. We gave it a shot, you know? We got home at a decent hour. We both had to work today, but we said, okay, we could watch a few episodes. So we started watching. And what I must say is this. I didn't realize how much I actually missed Spike Lee's style of filming, how he captures his shots. I love that this whole series is based in Brooklyn. As we all know, this is where Spike Lee's from. This is his borough. He definitely captures the gentrification in Brooklyn. It's a part of the storyline. He captures the colors, the culture, the music. Let me tell you, I'm a music lover. Y'all know this. He was playing everything from Jill Scott to Maxwell to Frank Sinatra to KRS-One, and the list goes on. And what I loved even more is the fact after every scene that he played a song, he would show the cover of the album that song was on. So he's also bigging up the artist, you know, whose songs he was playing, and I thought that that's dope. And it's nothing I've seen before. You normally see on like Love and Hip Hop, you'll see them right before commercial break, they'll play the song again and like show the album cover or the single cover or whatever. But Spike Lee was like adding it as part of the scene, which was pretty dope. So of course, She's Gotta Have It was a movie he did back in the 80s. And so he created a series off of that, and it's based on Nola, the main character, and her three lovers and her friends, her being a struggling, financially starving artist who does amazing portraits. She paints, and she's trying to hustle and bustle to get her art out there, trying to keep a roof over her head. She's renting a beautiful brownstone that also is where she paints. It's her love den where she's with her lovers, all of that, right? So, you know, it talks about a lot of different things. You know, they even had a moment of addressing the political climate with Trump being in office. And so I give it to Spike Lee. He made sure whatever messages and stories he wanted to tell, he did that. That's what I ultimately miss, is how Spike Lee tells his stories. He is legendary and like so known for telling his stories in such an odd and different way. And I know for me, it's been years since I feel like Spike Lee has really done something, a project like this. And so, you know, now I've gotten used to like the Tyler Perry way of telling stories, and now with Insecure and so many of these other great shows that really are starring Black people, people of color, you know, I kind of forgot about Spike Lee just for a little bit, you know? And so it was cool to see him be like, yeah, this is what I do. Don't you ever forget it, kind of thing, right? So Nola, the main character, she is definitely sexually liberated and free. And, you know, you see this play out in the love scenes, the sex scenes with her 3 lovers, actually 4, 3 men and a woman, separately, of course, but you see it play out. She's 27 years old and she's trying to figure out who the hell she is, how she's, like I said, is going to hustle to get her art out there, what it is exactly that she wants for herself. And what I also really appreciate is the fact that they show her engaging in therapy pretty much for most of the season, trying to work these issues that she does have, life challenges, questions, a quest to find herself. It plays out, and they show this throughout the season with her in her therapy sessions. And I feel like that's major and important, because these days I feel like it's always just put out there to that message of being sexually liberated, especially as women. Be sexually liberated, be free. You know, we should be able to do what men can do, and it shouldn't be the double standard of only they can have multiple partners sexually, and we should be able to do these, you know. And for me, I know I say for me a lot, sorry. I feel that I get it, you know, to each her own, to each his own, right? If you want to be sexually liberated and free, and that's the path and journey you choose to have for yourself, I will say these things. Please be safe, right? Wrap it up. Don't put yourself in positions to get venereal diseases or worse, something that you cannot cure. 2, please don't put yourself in a position to get pregnant or to create children that you are not ready to take care of financially and or emotionally parent, right? 3, as easy as it is for some to just give of themselves, women to just spread their legs, open their legs, and let anyone in between their thighs, let's also do the work to make sure what's going on in here and what's going on here are in a healthy state. If I'm being 100% honest, a lot of times I found in the women that I have encountered in my life who have been uber sexually free, there is some kind of emotional block that's there. Meaning there's a fear of letting loose and letting someone into their heart. There's a fear of losing control. And so if this relationship or this interaction between us is strictly physical, it's strictly sexual, then I don't really have to worry about meeting your expectations emotionally in a relationship. I don't have to worry about allowing you in and putting myself in such a vulnerable position to where I can easily get my heart broken and stomped on. I have encountered quite a few women who feel this way. And so for them, sex is, okay, that's my time to feel close to someone else. That's my time to have intimacy physically. That's my time to, you know, kind of like get my rocks off, but emotionally there's a block there. I'm not letting you in. I'm afraid to let you in. I don't want to be hurt. I'm having a hard time being vulnerable. I've been hurt in the past. My heart been stomped on before. I'm not going through that again. And so that's pretty much what I mean. So if you find that you're all for being that sexually liberated and free woman, just take a couple of minutes to do some soul searching and make sure that what's going on in your heart and what's going on in your mind are actually healthy, that you're in a healthy place, as opposed to being in an unhealthy place but using sex to fill other things, right? Because then I don't think that one would be that liberated at that point, right? If you get what I'm saying. And so as I always say, like to have a balanced message and even the playing field. The world, society is always going to give us one extreme. Society in the world is also going to give us another extreme. Your girl, I'm just trying to be in the middle and say, hey, but did we think about this as well? Did we think about that as well? Because it could be a slippery slope if we kind of live our lives off of each extreme that society says we should, right? And so Nola, she's beautiful. The actress that plays her, gorgeous woman. She plays the heck out of the role. You know, it can seem very enticing and liberating watching, especially if you're single, to say, ooh, So she got this guy, and this girl from time to time, that's kind of, and I really feel for the millennials because they could be like, that's what it is. This is what it's about. But I'm hoping that they also paid attention to the fact that Nola had a lot of soul searching that she's trying to do and that needs to be done. And if you notice, as you continue to watch it, if you haven't watched the series just yet, that as Nola starts to find out and figure out who she is and what she wants and what she needs to do, how she needs to mature and grow and really become this entrepreneurial force and get her art out there, the more she's grabbing hold of that and getting to really figure her ish out, the less she's opening her legs. There's something to be said about that, folks. That's all I'm saying. So when we put out these blanket statements about being sexually liberated and no slut shaming and all these things, I get it. But let's also put the message out there that we got to make sure we know what's good here and what's good here, and that what's in our heart and minds are in healthy places before we just freely give of ourselves. Honestly, I'm kind of old school, very traditional with this sense. I'm not out here, and I'm not about promoting promiscuity, to each his or her own. You like it, I love it. For me, I wasn't going to give of myself to so many different people. I was raised where the only person you should give yourself to is your husband, right? And so my husband and I were just talking about this yesterday. There's something to be said when it comes to women and how when we engage in making love and having sex, it's where we're the ones that are being entered into. Something deep to be said about that. And I'm a Christian. I do believe that that is for a strategic purpose and plan from the divine himself, God, Jesus Christ, God the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, as I always say. And so that is my perspective, and I'm sticking to that. However, no judgment to anyone else. It's not my place to judge what you do with your vag, what you do with your penis, right? And what you do with other parts. However, it's just how I live my life and what my perspective is. And I just, like I said, want to kind of even the playing field and say, okay, the world and society tells us to do these two extremes. Did we think about this, though? Let's think about this. So for those who want to be sexually free and you vibe with Nola's character and you feel that that's what's up and where it's at for you, just make sure emotionally what's going on in here is in a healthy state. And if not, there ain't nothing wrong with going to therapy to figure things out, doing some deep and true soul searching. I am so glad that that is actually put into the storyline where the character Nola is weekly meeting with her therapist, trying to make sense of things and figure things out for herself, her behavioral patterns, the decisions that she makes, why she, has decided to take on these lovers, all of that. I think that's the wise thing to do, right? And let's stop people of color. Let us please stop looking down on therapy like it's something we shouldn't do or that you're crazy if you do it, because you're not. It actually helps more people than not make sense of different challenges in their lives, and it helps them to get to know themselves more and a lot of times overcome certain things and stop certain generational curses and behavioral patterns that we may not even realize we do, right? Anyway, let me stop getting so deep. Check it out. I think it's a series worth watching. I also think that it'll get picked up for several more seasons to come. I am down to one last episode to watch, which I will do before I lay these pretty eyes to sleep. And another thought that I had, I often on my Instagram page for the website, which is Complexed Simplicity 09, I try my best daily to put up encouraging, empowering quotes. I guess that's it. Kind of repost a lot of what other celebrities' quotes or whoever, friends, people I know have put up if it was inspiring, thought-provoking, encouraging for me. And the one that I recently did was from Ty Trone. I think he puts up amazing, great, empowering, encouraging thoughts and quotes often. For those who don't know, he is part of Beyonce's Glam Squad, has worked with the mom Tina Knowles for years, before Beyonce became who she was, even before Destiny's Child became who she was. He's been along for the whole journey, part of the glam. When she looks amazing and fabulous, he's part of that. And I really like his Instagram page and the quotes he puts up. The one that caught me by storm, or really had me like, yep, I'm gonna need to talk about that a little bit on my website, is the thought that he posted today, which is this, or yesterday, which is this. Sometimes when we're not invited to the party, it's because we're gonna get too much attention. I'm paraphrasing. So pretty much sometimes when we're not invited to the party, it's because the fear of attention that we're going to get. And I love this because I've gone through this myself. A lot of times when we're not invited, when we're not included in different social endeavors, settings, cliques, crews, at work, at church, in just your regular life, at school, at college, wherever, a lot of times we tend to think it's because it's something wrong with us. We weren't cool enough. We weren't dope enough. We weren't this enough. We didn't fit in enough, whatever that is, right? And what I'm here to tell you is this. 9 out of 10 times it's not that. It's not that you weren't right, you were wrong, something wrong with you. It's actually everything that probably is right about you that may intimidate that person who is having that party, so to speak, right? And I'm not necessarily talking about you're not invited to my birthday party, or you're not invited to my Christmas holiday party. I'm talking about just when we feel excluded in general, when we're not included in things, whether it's work events, whether it's lunches with coworkers, whether it's maybe it is a literal party, whether it's just people not really leaving the doors open for you to be a part of their crew, so to speak. A lot of times it's not that there's anything wrong with you, it's that there's everything right with you, and that you're going to dim someone else's shine or dim their light in their mind, and you're going to get all the attention, and everybody's going to want to now rock with you and forget about them. 9 out of 10 times, I'm pretty sure that's what the issue is. I've gone through this in my life. I recall going through it at my job years ago when I was in my 20s, where I felt excluded from certain people that were either a part of my department or worked closely alongside my department. And I used to feel some kind of way about it at times, if I'm being honest and transparent. I used to feel low-key like, well, damn, why wasn't I included? Like, that's a little whack. Feeling like, oh, but then I quickly realized, Chanel, it's not anything you did. You weren't mean, you weren't nasty, you weren't rude, you weren't disrespectful. It's that this person is intimidated by you because of the confidence you exude in yourself, because you know who you are, you're content with who you are, you're ultimately happy in your life. Maybe they feel like things worked out for you in your life. As I said, a lot of people that I know and I'm friends with, I know they low-key feel like everything always work out for Chanel, which can cause feelings of jealousy at times, envy at some times, and could make people kind of want to exclude you because they feel like you're going to dim their light. And I'm here to say to you, if that's the case, then you don't need to be friends with them or interact with them like that anyway, other than being cordial and nice and pleasant. I learned that quickly. I used to beat myself up about it years ago when I was in my early 20s, mid 20s, and my mom used to be like, Chanel, stop. Like, at the end of the day, that's their loss. That's their problem. It's not your problem. Don't take that on as if there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's because they feel threatened by you. And I go through this with a lot of women in my life. So we're going to rewind till Sunday. I told you we're all together at my parents' house having our pre-Thanksgiving dinner, and my mom, my sister-in-law, and I were talking at the table, and we were talking about, I guess, women, and my sister-in-law was like, but you're so nice. Like, I don't understand anyone not liking you or not wanting to, kind of like get along or be your friend. And I said, well, unfortunately, I said, I like to think so, but unfortunately, I do end up having a lot of issues with women, or more so, I should say, a lot of women have issues with me because of my contentness in who I am. I know who I am. I love who I am. I'm happy ultimately in my life. And for some, that's a problem, and no, they're not going to outwardly disrespect me or play themselves because I'm the boundary queen. And I think that I have this thing about me that I get from my mom where it's like, don't play yourself, and people get the sense without me having to say that, right? But then I'm also very warm and inviting and nice, and so it's almost like hard to be mean and nasty to me if I didn't give you a reason to be, right? And then there's that side of me that's like, you better not play yourself, that people sense and get with my personality. So, but at the end of the day, it rubs a lot of insecure women, I will say, the wrong way. I've found that it doesn't work out with me being friends with women who really, really, really struggle with certain insecurities. Some who do struggle with insecurities, we all struggle with insecurities to some degree, right? But those, when I say really struggle, I mean like you're kind of on the unhealthy end of it. Those who are on the more healthier side of it can appreciate me in their lives or as a friend. But those who are really low confidence, low self-worth, very insecure, find it difficult to be around me or be friends and be close because whatever feelings of intimidation or feeling threatened, so to speak. And story of my life, going through this a lot of my life. I know it when I see it. I know it when I feel it. Even if everyone else around me doesn't see it, I know. I've been through it enough. I know, and I just learned that's just not someone that we can really be connected to like that. And that's okay. Everybody's not meant to be connected and friends in that way. But I'm glad that my mother taught me from young to know what I was looking at and to know what I was dealing with, because sometimes when you are engaged in friendships with people who are really, really low-key jealous and envious of you, they can cause more problems and more harm and detriment in your life than good. And so I'm always scanning the room. I'm always assessing things. If I find like, that's weird, why did my friend do this? Or why did this person not do this? Or what's really here? What's really there? It's because I'm always constantly trying to be aware of who's around. Because that they say, a lot of times the people who may have the most issues and problems and drama with you, they disguise themselves as your friend and are within your inner circle. So it's very important just to know where everyone is at, and for the most part, as best as you can, what everybody's motivation is to be in your life, right? And so please be encouraged out there. If you feel like you're being excluded, if you feel like you're never invited to the party, metaphorically speaking, or even literally, stop thinking that it's something wrong about you, that it's something that you're not doing. It's actually probably 9 out of 10 times everything that's so right about you that intimidates, threatens, and makes that person feel, or those people feel jealous and envious of you, which is why they prefer to just have you away, out, don't have you around, So I just kind of want to change our thinking with that. It's not always that we're doing something wrong or we're not dope enough. A lot of times it's because you are that dope that you're getting that kind of treatment. And so it's all good. Don't beat up on yourself. Appreciate yourself for who you are. Love yourself for who you are. Live in your truth. Own your ish. All the things I always talk about. Let's work on ourselves, absolutely. But let's not beat up on ourselves because other people act as if they don't see our worth. Let me tell you something. Oh, they see your worth. And it's a problem for them. And so that's why you're facing what you're facing and going through with them and feeling excluded and feeling disconnected and feeling shunned. But it ain't you. It's all them or that person. So don't worry about it, because the right people are going to appreciate you for who you are. The right people will always welcome you in with open arms and include you in the party. You will get invited to the party, okay? Continue to rock out with your girl. Oh, before I say that, for those who want and wish to be sexually liberated out here, like Nola's character, what I will say is this. Please make sure that what's going on in your heart and in your mind and your soul are that those areas within you are in a healthy place before you start giving way and giving your body to any and everyone, right? There's something to be said about that. I don't think it's just about just getting our rocks off and just bed hopping and being all over the place and being sexually free, right? And liberated, without recognizing, is there something here that I need to take a closer look at? Are there some issues? Are there some unhealthy tendencies and behavioral patterns that I do have, which makes it easy for me as a woman to want to open my legs to him, to her, to him. You know how it is, So let's take a look at that before we start jumping on the NOLA bandwagon and wanting to be out here busting it wide open, all right? Continue to rock with your girl by going to ComplexedSimplicity.com. Have an amazing weekend, and until next time.